Hi everyone, welcome to step one. Let's get clear on your career goals. And this is really about how to play to your strengths. So let's start about thinking which role can you really excel in now and in the future. I'm first going to delve into talking about the different types of organization that you could work for, because each of those will give you a different experience, a different culture, and a different opportunity to learn. So let's take a deep dive into those four different options. The first, you could work for a consultancy. The second is working for an end customer. The third is working for Salesforce itself. And the fourth is working for an ISV. So let's think about first working for a consultancy. It gives you a great opportunity if you enjoy diversity, new challenges, learning new things, working under time and budget pressure, being an expert on solutions and delivering professional services, then consultancy service might be the right role for you. You could work in a client-facing design or project management role or an in-house technical role, building out solutions for a range of clients. What I would say is that you are in a position of authority. People look to you to be the expert. So you have to be really comfortable in being that space. It's not to say that you'll know everything in the position of authority, but you've got to know how to handle those sorts of situations where you can say, I will find out. And then you want to dive in and learn, because that's the great thing about consultancies. Every project and every client will probably bring a learning curve with it, because it will be a new type of solution or a new type of feature that they require. And you've got to work out how. So that's the fun of it if you enjoy that. A Salesforce consultancy would typically work with clients for a period of months or even a couple of years to implement specific solutions, depending on the size of projects, of course. Some consultancies may specialize in corporate, SME, non-profits, or public sector clients, and they may work internationally or nationally and may even specialize in certain Salesforce verticals or specialist teams in-house. Depending on the size of clients, you may be working on more than one system at once, and each client will have different requirements and solutions, which really gives you that variety in the role. So think about your background, your professional experience, and perhaps find a consultancy that works in those areas, because consultancies do tend to specialize in industry verticals these days. It's something that Salesforce very much encourage, and it's the way that consultancies are going. So, for example, with my consultancy, Economic Change, we focus on the non-profit sector, whereas other consultancies will focus on other verticals. So check them out and think about it. But if you enjoy that diversity, that learning opportunity, being also element of, time pressure in a positive way, like that really gives you momentum and an enjoyment, then that would be the things to look out for. Now, the questions to ask for this type of role is, what type of clients do you work for? What is a typical project size? Which Salesforce products would you be working with, and what level of remote working or travel would be involved? They're all the sorts of things that you might want to ask. That last point is particularly important because some consultancies will often require you to be on site for project work in the normal period, whereas that might not always suit you, particularly if that requires travel. So think about those opportunities and what type of consultancy you might go for. Now, the next is working for an end customer. So if you're someone who enjoys familiarity, routine, focusing on one thing, nurturing and supporting individuals to adopt a system, becoming the go-to person for support, helping the organization to analyze data and inform business decisions, then a job within an end customer of Salesforce might be the right job for you. You could manage the rollout of a new CRM project or become part of a support desk, just dealing with internal cases once a solution has been implemented. Quite often when I speak to individuals within end customers, they'll work alongside a consultancy, which is a great opportunity to learn and to see how a consultancy operates, but their role is really to help embed the solution going forward. An end customer might be a non-profit to a large international corporate. So also think about the type of culture that would be the right fit for you, and assess whether its geography, its values, its culture, its flexibility and team members really work. Because once you're embedded inside, you are there all the time. It's slightly different to a consultancy, because a consultancy is you're going to be delving into different organizations at different points. So assess whether you want to be involved in a new CRM project or whether you just prefer to work on a support desk, being an internal admin, helping answer queries and supporting training amongst end customers. There's different types of role there. The questions you might ask is, what is the geography of the team? How long has Salesforce been used? How well is it adopted? What would the typical work entail? And what level of remote working versus travel would be required? The next is working for Salesforce itself. Salesforce is known as one of the best employers in the world. It is very competitive to get into. Typically, you have to go through 9 interviews to get there. So it is a very sought after role, but equally, they very much vet who works there and check that you'll be comfortable in delivering the roles that they want. But Salesforce is a great opportunity, and they have lots of roles available, whether it's sales roles, solution engineer roles, delivery roles, account management roles. There really is diversity, so it's always worth checking out the Salesforce website directly for job roles. And then the fourth is working for an ISV. And an ISV is a partner of Salesforce, and they have typically built a product on the Salesforce platform that either is native to the platform or integrates with the platform. So if you're someone that enjoys speaking to new people, being an expert on a specific product, working virtually and providing training and support to a range of clients, then working for an ISV might be the perfect role for you. You might take up a sales role and helping customers understand what you can achieve with the product. Or you might be more of a support desk role, helping implement the new product into customers. There's a large number of ISV partners worldwide who've built products on the Salesforce platform, and many tend to have smaller teams that support end users virtually. So it allows you to really focus down on one product, but might not necessarily give you that whole diversity to learn loads of new applications and solutions. But it's a great place to start, and a great opportunity in its own right. So questions you might ask are, what would be a typical day? How many customers might you work with in a day? How many customers and leads does the ISV currently have? And what is the company culture and team like? So they're the different types of roles. So you might experience and decide to go for a range of those. But if you're applying for a job right now, get really clear on why you want to work for that type of organization and feel ready to go into that sort of role. And that's clear on what you want to achieve. So let's talk about the different job roles. And these job roles will spring up in a range of those different organizations we've talked about. So first, the project manager role. So a project manager is an expert in planning, maintaining accountability, and managing technical resources to deliver a project successfully for a client. They enjoy being organized and using the project management software to plan everything out successfully. They will liaise and allocate team members to a project and hold the team accountable for recording time and deliverables to check on the project progress. Typically, they'll report to the client manager and regularly on the progress of the plan. They are measured on time and budget ultimately, and they need to deliver a great project meeting the minimum requirements that the client expects. It requires excellent management skills and excellent people skills because you're managing a lot of different stakeholders. A project manager may have technical skills. They might have trained up as an administrator. It's great because then you have first-hand knowledge about what the team are delivering on. It is not essential, though, to have technical certifications as a project manager, but it is a benefit if you have. The next is a business analyst role. Now, a business analyst likes to get really under the hood, kind of look at their current processes, redefine those processes, really loves asking questions, the what's, the whys, the whens, the hows, and really digging into what people actually need that align to their business goals and solving some of those pain points. It would suit somebody that's got a passion for a management consultancy type role. They will love working with people because you have to elicit this information out of people. So you will need a range of communication skills to work with those that are very forthcoming with information, but equally be assertive and nurturing as well. Two very different approaches to perhaps those that are less forthcoming with information because perhaps, they need a bit more help to articulate what they need, or they don't know what they need. So communication skills are really important. You've got to love working with people, love teasing out, what they need and want, and then documenting that and communicating it back to the technical team. Now, a Salesforce administrator is somebody who will help build a system out. They will use clicks rather than code. They might venture into low code solutions, but they love sort of just building the system and helping people day to day use the system. Now, quite often you can then get sort of a hybrid role where all of these three things come into play. So you might see roles like a system manager role, or a product owner, or a Salesforce consultant. And quite often these three roles can have a quasi responsibility for project management, business analyst, and Salesforce admin and building. So you're getting these hybrid roles which might have a flavor of all these three things. Then as you progress up the career ladder, and you've got a really good understanding of technical opportunities and technical architecture, you can work towards a technical architect role. Typically, technical architects have been through the Salesforce developer route, and developer is where you're learning everything that you can achieve through code, and learning, going through the platform 1, platform 2 cycle, and then you're stepping into the technical architect opportunities. So there are people that really want to understand that other side of Salesforce, like everything that you can do. And then you've got sales roles. Sales roles are great in that you don't have to deliver the whole solution, but what you can do is get people really excited about the possibilities. And that's a really rewarding place to be in its own right, because it's the first time they're seeing Salesforce, what it can do, hearing about the possibilities. And it's great to see how people are really excited and that they want to work with you, and really building that relationship. With sales, however, comes sales targets, and that pressure of hitting sales each month, because ultimately the sales is what helps drive the overall business. So you're responsible for bringing money into the business that's going to keep everybody else there. So there's an element of pressure there, which some people will thrive on. Some people won't, but ultimately it is really about coming up with a great solution for a client. So it's quite nice to be at that early stage, but then you can step back and let another team get on with it. And then the final one is a trainer role. So a trainer, you might train them in using technology. It might be an ISV product. It might be a Salesforce product. You might be teaching other Salesforce professionals how to use Salesforce, or train up in a Salesforce product. So there are roles out there for trainers, particularly that might be of interest if you've got a teaching background, etc. That might be for you. So have a read more about market demand, job roles and salaries that are available in the ecosystem. You can do that through the Supermums website here, or Trailhead. And also we've got a series of case studies on our website at Supermums where you can read about the different journeys, listen to the videos of different people in different roles. Now, the next thing to think about is the different types of contract. So you might have permanent fixed term employee contract. That obviously will give you more stability if you're looking to get a mortgage, or you want secure income, that you know that you're bedded into an organization. You've got a longer term sort of relationship with that organization. They might also give you other perks and privileges as an employee, which you might not get as a contractor. However, contractors, some people look at contractor opportunity and think, oh, their day rate's higher. Well, it will be, but equally you have to pay for your own sick pay, your own holiday pay, and other things that might obviously come into effect. You might not have work all the time because a contract might finish early. Then you have to find a new one that is a right fit. So there'll be times when perhaps you're sat on the bench and you don't have work. So with contracts comes less security in some ways, but equally you are earning more to caveat that. So, there's pros and cons of both. A contract role won't necessarily give you the security, for example, to get a mortgage. So those things all have to be taken into consideration. Now, if you're working as a contractor, you could do that through a recruitment agency, so they find the work and then find and source staff, or you could market yourself directly on social media channels or via Trailblazer groups, or just see who's asking and talking about needing help, and finding that work yourself. Other options, when you're looking at these roles and what you might then get from recruitment agencies, or you might source yourself, they could be a longer term contract. Could be a short-term implementation contract, or it could be an ongoing support contract. Again, think about very much what kind of contract you might like and what suits you best. So here is an example of some of the different rates that you would get for different roles, and whether you would be in a permanent employee or whether it would be a contract rate. And these are based on the Mason Frank salary survey. Now, the next thing to think about is your personality, and this can help you perhaps figure out which role is right for you. So in your workbook, you have the option to do a free DISC personality profile, and to think about, actually, well, based on my personality, which role might suit me best. So there's an opportunity for reflection here. So if you are a high D, which stands for dominance, you might be a good project manager, a great consultant, a business analyst, or an architect. If you're a high I, which is known as an influencer, you might be, again, great as a project manager, a consultant, or even in a marketing type role. If you're high S, that stands for steadiness. And again, you might be a great project manager, or you might be a great admin. And for high Cs, maybe a great developer or a business analyst, because you like compliance, you like process. So, there's no rule of thumb. If you're a high S or a high I, there's not to say you couldn't be, mixed bag, but just think about the qualities that you perhaps have in your personality and which roles they best resonate with. What is important is how you will thrive as an individual within a job role. So the next thing to think about is, what is it that you want to earn? What is it that you want to learn? What flexibility do you want? What type of team and culture do you thrive in from your previous experience? And what are your values? So I want you to think about the Maslow hierarchy of needs and think about all the things that you might need in your life that will help you achieve self-actualization, that you're living to your higher potential. Are you meeting your physiological needs, your safety needs, your needs for love and belonging, your esteem needs? Because what you want to do is be able to meet all of those things through finding the right workplace, through finding the right role, through getting the right flexibility that you need, the opportunity to learn, and having all of those things in place. So I want you to take some time to work through each of these areas in your workbook. Do pause as you work through this and fast track if you need to. Work through each of these areas and have a real think about, what is it that's going to suit you. Take action now to get more insight. Talk to recruiters about different job roles. Find out more. Check out different job specs and look at what they look for. And visit company websites to check out their different range of jobs. Once you know what kind of job you want to apply for and what type of organization you'd like to work for, then that's when you're ready to approach recruitment agencies. So you can talk to the Supermums recruitment team by clicking on the link here. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in step 2.